Welcome everybody to the Title Alone Podcast, where we watch and review movies based solely on their title. We have the impossible job of avoiding all trailers, posters, and everything else to do with movies, just so that we can go into the movie spoiler-free.
I'm Brad.
This is Ryan.
And I'm Mike. In this episode, we're seeing The Way Back. Welcome to the show. Alright, so what are we seeing?
The Way Back?
The Way Back. So,
The Way Back.
All right,
The
Mike,
Way Back.
tell me what you think The Way Back is.
The Way Back
about.
is? Alright, so I'm going to make Ryan really happy with this one.
Yeah.
And The Way Back is a time travel movie.
Fucker, you stole mine.
Ah! Got it, I told you. It's a time travel movie where a guy goes all the way to the future, and it's kind of like Quantum Leap, where he has to kind of jump backwards in time and keep finding his way back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mine is much less it's lackluster now. My
Oh wait, hold on. It's starring Paul Rudd.
Okay, getting specific.
Yeah, as always. Because, as we know, I'm very good at this.
Always
and
right.
I've always gotten it correct.
Yeah, that and 1,000.
It's Paul Rudd
Uh-huh.
in a time travel movie.
Is this one a kid's movie?
I'm going, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. No, it's not a kid's movie, but it's definitely not. It's an R. It's an R.
It's an R?
It's an R.
Ooh, okay. All right, go for it, Ryan. What do you think?
I have mixed feelings, but what I'm desperately hoping for is that this is a remake.
Okay.
So, The Way Back is about people escaping a gulag in World War II.
Oh my God.
In the middle of Siberia, and they walk to India.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's based on a true story.
I don't think I'm emotionally prepared for this.
Oh, it's terrible.
I
But
was
if
going
this is
into this as a time travel movie.
Yeah, if this is a
With Paul
remake,
Rudd.
if it's a remake, I'll be super excited. It's actually like the other movie. But
So mine's on one spectrum, end of the spectrum. Ryan's is on another end of the spectrum.
Mhm.
Brad, where do you fall on this spectrum?
Well, I'm a little closer to your side. See, I was torn between space or time travel. So since you took time travel, I'm going to go with space. So I think that these are like an interstellar type, long, deep space travel, and they need to make their way back to Earth, but they're going to encounter lots of maybe not alien, but definitely, space-related obstacles.
Any main celebrities?
Do
Do you think Zac Efron's in it?
I don't.
Damn it.
My first gut reaction was honestly Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Ben Affleck because he seems like a space guy. Matthew McConaughey was Interstellar.
Wouldn't Matt Damon be more of a space guy?
You're right, but he already just did a space movie. Is he gonna do? I mean, I guess that was a few years ago. We'll go with co-stars Ben Affleck, Matt Damon.
Is it just Good Will Hunting in space?
Yeah, it's Good Will Hunting 2. And they go to space.
The way back.
They have to make their way back to Robin Williams. He's not in this one, unfortunately. Oh no, too soon,
You
too
think?
soon.
You think?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay. So, I have a second guess, but it's also most likely wrong. It's 100% wrong. So me and Jan were talking about it. The title sounds like a male version of like Eat, Pray, Love. Like a Finding Yourself movie.
Yeah.
But we decided that it's a stoner. That he's been doing too many drugs and he has to find his way back to who he really is. But during the whole entire time, he just keeps ending up in places like Amsterdam and a full moon festival in Thailand. So he just keeps getting fucked up the entire way until he finds his way back, which is finding himself, that he is just a heavy drug user.
So he doesn't turn away from drugs. He just embraces it.
He real hard into it.
he just confirms.
Yeah. He's like, maybe this is just me, and it's his Eat, Pray, Love journey. But instead of Eat, Pray, Love, it's Eat, Smoke, Love. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
what? So Ryan, do you have any big name co-stars in yours, or main stars in your Gulag Death March?
I'm thinking Zach Galifianakis and Simon Pegg, maybe.
Okay. I don't know where this movie falls now. Is it a comedy?
It's like a Hot Fuzz remake.
It's Is it a buddy comedy?
It's a parody of the original.
It's a parody.
God.
It's a terrible thing to parody. It sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Why would they walk all the way from the gulag in Siberia to India? Couldn't you have just stopped in like Mongolia and been fine? Or China?
I have no
or
idea, man.
that's a long walk to be like, you gotta keep
like
going.
You'll have to watch the movie.
Yeah, you'll have to watch. You should watch that movie.
The
It's
OG
great.
one.
No, this one. We're gonna go see it.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna see it.
Yeah.
What if it's so? There's a movie called The Way Way Back with Sam Rockwell, and it's a boy's coming of age tale where he works at a water park, and then he kind of grows up and learns to kind of be his own man. And Sam Rockwell's like a surrogate father figure and all this stuff. What if it's the prequel to that? I mean, it's the summer before where he works at an ice cream stand and he finds like a surrogate older brother, and then
Get into that.
yeah.
right,
It's not that.
You
All right,
don't
so
think
what do we think the furthest it could be?
Didn't you do yours?
No.
Oh.
The pothead one wasn't the furthest it could be.
I thought that was your furthest it could be.
No, that was another guess.
Oh. Okay, well, that's a good guess. Go ahead.
I'm gonna supplement that and say that is mine. That is the furthest it could be from.
It's pretty far off.
I'm gonna go with it's actually a sequel to Maze Runner. After they
Maze
got out
Runner?
of Maze Runner, yeah.
They already have a sequel to Maze
Well,
Runner.
it's a sequel of
It's
the
number
trilogy.
5.
Where
I
they
was gonna
decide
say there's like
where
5
they
of them.
decide it really sucks out here. We're gonna go back in the maze.
I like the maze.
And wasn't there a bad thing in Maze Runner? Wasn't there like a centaur or something?
Yeah,
I don't
I watched
remember.
maybe the first one. So
I don't remember. All I remember is like I thought it was one type of movie, and then like at the end of it, I'm like, the fuck am I in?
I
And
thought it
then,
was
like,
a parkour movie before I get into it.
parkour.
Yeah.
You know, there's another movie that's a parkour movie. It's like a kung fu parkour movie. It's pretty good. I don't know the name, so you're on your own. But I'm sure if you Google kung fu parkour,
You'll
not
find-
like
you'll
just
find
that.
maybe
You have to
that's-
put movie at
maybe
the end of that as well.
Yeah,
So
you'll
kung fu parkour movie.
Uh-huh.
You'll probably come up with.
You probably find some pretty sweet YouTube videos too.
I bet.
Pull it
You
up,
probably,
Jamie.
you probably find a lot of office videos of people jumping into trash cans.
Parkour.
Yeah.
All right. So my furthest off is actually the problem is they spelled way wrong in this film. It's actually WHEY. And this is actually a movie about a disgraced cheese-making family that
Is it a
got
documentary?
It is, and they got tossed out of the cheese-making tradition.
Yes.
I
want it so bad.
And so this is the great grandfather of the grandfather that made the cheese. This is his great grandson, and he wants to get back into the cheese-making tradition, but he's disgraced by the cheese-making community, and he has to make his way back into the cheese-making tradition.
I'm gonna be real. I would watch that document. I watch a lot of documentaries, and I would 100% watch that on Netflix. I would be like, "Yo, this is some deep shit." Like,
Yeah, well,
I'm in.
Too bad it's in the theater right now today. It's so you can't watch it on Netflix because it went.
I get so excited about the movies that it's clearly not gonna be.
Yeah.
That I'm like, man, that sounds great. When am I gonna? Oh no, it's because we're making fun of it, and it's not. Yeah, I'm sad.
Does that prove the unoriginality of Hollywood, that we wish these movies would be made, but there's no possible way that they are?
A documentary on a disgraced cheese maker. What kind of cheese does he make? That's a good question.
Well, he's from
Where is he?
Wisconsin, so he just
So
makes
cheddar.
very milky cheese. Yeah, like cheddar, heavy in the way. Not like aged like Parmigiano Reggiano. He's not
No.
that fancy. He's a country boy.
I wonder, is that who disgraced him? Was the? See, I'm in this movie now. There's
yeah.
a whole world that I want to
my
know about.
gosh.
Well, see, I was thinking about this. I was thinking about the ways that he could have been disgraced, and I was kind of going with like a 1920s Depression vibe. So maybe like the
this
town
is like-
needed money, and he was like rich, but he couldn't help them. But then he went bankrupt. But then he he showed his true colors by not helping the town during their time of need. So they disgraced him. And then the cheese making, people, they
I
were
don't
like,
like this
hey,
guy now.
yeah, you don't. But see, he needs to make his way back into the hearts and minds of cheese lovers around the world.
What if it's a Pixar film?
Oh god.
It could be. I was going more with a documentarian style, but if you wanna go full Pixar, I'm not against
I'll
it.
go with your documentary.
Yeah.
So, what do we think the Rotten Tomatoes score of it is?
Of the Way movie?
No.
The cheese?
No.
No, the
That's
way
0
back.
because it doesn't exist.
It should. So 100. That's my personal Rotten Tomatoes score. I'm the only critic. 100%. I love this shit. I love this cheese movie. 10 out of 10.
I give it 10 wheels of cheese out of 10. No, of the movie that I'm not going to say we're not going to see a cheese documentary because I don't know.
Yeah,
but
you don't. You
of
sure
the
don't.
movie that we're about to see,
I'm
what do we
saying,
think
I'm
Rotten
saying this
Tomatoes
is
score is?
gonna be hopefully a good movie. So like an 80.
I'm going 65.
I like to have high hopes. I'm going 93.
Oh my god.
I always go high in the beginning and then get real depressed after I see it.
Like,
So.
oh,
As long
it
as you
was
set the
trash.
bar high.
All right, let's go in. Just a heads up, the next part is going to be completely filled with spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet and don't want to be spoiled, stop here. Alright, so are we starting with the 60 seconds? We realize that no one has any idea about some of these movies that we're seeing, so we're going to start a new segment called, should we just call it, Can Mike synopsis a movie in 60 seconds?
No, I've got a synopsis.
You got a
too.
synopsis too, okay.
Yeah, we got to come up with a good title. So it's kind of like Gone in 60 Seconds. We got to come up with some kind of pun.
Yeah.
Something to do with that.
So,
We'll think on it.
alright, so we'll figure out a title for this segment later.
Okay, let me get out my phone. I'm going to pull out a stopwatch for 60 seconds. And Mike has the job this time of giving a 60-second synopsis of the movie.
Ryan is also going to give
Yeah.
his synopsis.
Yeah, right.
But-
Ryan's going to do his second.
Yeah.
We're going to start with Mike's. And let me
Alright.
know when you're ready, and I'll
Tell
stop.
me, you tell me when to go.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Synopsis.
Brad was right, it was Ben Affleck. So, Ben Affleck, who's a severe alcoholic, but functioning and builds bridges, gets called from his old high school, which was a Catholic high school, to become the basketball coach because the other basketball coach had a heart attack and nearly died, but he recovered. They told us that. And so they asked Ben Affleck, who was the MVP player in 93-94, to come back and coach basketball. Turns out, shithole dog of a team, can't play basketball,
30 seconds.
but Ben Affleck goes in, makes it play basketball, and they do much better. He stops drinking for a moment. The team is a badass team. Then they go to the state, the fucking playoffs. Turns out his buddy's kid almost is dying of cancer because his kid died of cancer. He became an alcoholic again, and
10 seconds.
he fucking goes into recovery, and the team goes state champs, or the team goes to the playoffs. That's it.
All right.
Whole
59,
movie.
60.
Whole movie, that's
Got
it.
You did it.
I did it.
All right, Ryan, do you want to give yours now?
Yeah, mine is much shorter.
All right, go.
There was this shitty basketball team. They needed a new coach. They found a drunk dude. And he came out, no, you're doing it wrong. Do it like this. And they're like, okay. And that was it.
All right, that was only 12 seconds. Very impressive.
Listen, but I told him what happened in the movie,
That's
not
true.
just.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
It's the same thing.
It's a quality versus quantity situation.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's 2 of the 3 points of the triangle.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, the gist was.
No, we can't. No,
What?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
That's
So
the 60 seconds.
No, so that's the 60-second synopsis. But so one thing I realized at the end of this movie was that it wasn't about the team at all. It
No.
was actually about Ben Affleck's character, and so the ending was he couldn't coach for the team, because of the drinking, and like any other movie, you would have assumed that they would have had a change of heart in the end and been,
Yeah.
come play for the playoffs, we need you, coach, like any other sports movie. And the ending was literally him just bettering himself and the team being better because of him, and they didn't even show the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it was like
It wasn't about the team.
So I kind of hated the ending, but I liked what it meant. But we didn't think it was going to be a basketball movie.
No.
No,
But-
not at all.
Yeah,
I definitely
it
would
was
not
so-
have been 1,000 feet. I would not have gone anywhere near this movie.
So imagine, though, going into this movie thinking it was going to be a basketball movie, and, like, they don't even show if they win the playoffs.
See, but they kind of do, because on the radio they say they have the biggest lead and the other team has
Yeah.
no idea how to deal with this press that they're doing. So the things he instilled in the basketball players stuck.
Yeah.
So,
so
and I like to think that he's going to go back to the school. He found his calling, which is basketball again.
Mhm.
He's going to go back to the school and say, listen, I know I fucked up. I was an alcoholic. and explain to them, because now he's in therapy, and now he explained to them everything that
My kid
happened and tell
died,
them
this is why,
this is everything. He's the head guy's a priest. The priest understands demons and dealing with, and retribution and forgiveness. I mean, the priest seemed like a nice guy, and so I would like to think that in the end he won't coach this year. He won't finish the state championship, but he'll continue to coach.
Yeah.
And even if it's not for that school, it will be for another school. And I really did I personally like the ending, but for some reason, not a sports guy, I fucking love sports films. I don't know what it is. It's got to be the underdog story in it. I fucking love them.
Well, what I found funny was that if I had looked at this poster or if I had seen this synopsis and it said basketball team, blah, 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 I would have been like, nah, I'm good. But
Never would have watched it.
Seeing this movie, this is one of the wonderful things about this format is that you just go see a movie and it doesn't matter if it's a basketball movie or a horror movie or a teen comedy. You go see it and it's either good or bad, but you saw it. And this movie I would have never seen on my own, but I'm glad I did because it's actually a good movie. I really liked it.
We're going to have to change the title of the podcast, though.
Yeah.
To, is it Blumhouse or is it a dead son? Because as of right now, we have seen 5 movies. This is episode 5. We've seen 5 movies. And 2 of them have been Blumhouse, and 2 of them have been dealing with the father grieving over the death of his son. Because the Call of the Wild was the exact same.
Yeah.
So,
Wait. So I guess Underwater was the only one that doesn't fall in those categories. And I'm trying to figure out if there was a dead son anywhere in there.
there was, because the guy lost his child. Remember?
Did he lose it?
He
or
lost
did
the captain. The captain's
Yes.
child
Oh my
died.
God.
So
Oh,
every
that's
single one of these movies has been: is it Blumhouse or is it a dead kid? We have not literally strayed away from it.
It's true.
We could have went to see Onward if we wouldn't have fucked up and seen the poster for it, and we would have at least had a fun movie.
Well, you never know. The saddest
Yeah.
story ever told was the
That's
first.
true. That's true. Onward will probably end up on B-roll, so that's where Onward will end up because now we know it's a Pixar film.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to try and do. Ryan, what did you like about the movie?
I don't know. It's a sports movie, so not a whole lot. But
But again, it wasn't really about
It's not.
sports.
It was
yeah,
just,
it wasn't
that was
about
a catalyst.
sports. It
yeah.
kind of like the very last scene where they're going out on the court, and it's like,
the confidence instilled in that.
yeah,
the new
basically
captain.
kind of it rang back to the team priest or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, don't underestimate how you can impress leave an impression on these kids. And
Yeah.
he did. To get them to where they are, and they continued. It's like, and also taught them to cuss apparently.
I think they were probably already doing that.
Yeah,
I feel like that was a great way to lighten up the movie a little bit. Too.
Yeah.
It was pretty serious. I mean, so Brad, what did you like about it?
Well, I thought the basketball part was really good. Actually, even though I'm not a big sports guy, not a big sports movie guy, really, the basketball was honestly enthralling because it was just seeing them improve and have actual basketball shit in the movie, and basically seeing that they're improving and all the character building there was actually really great. And yeah, I mean, taking this guy that was just the most alcohol I've ever seen, just
my God.
insane amounts, which I have. Once we're done with the good parts, I do have a bitch about that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, the character building and everything was just really, I thought it was really good. I mean, it felt kind of in some ways Oscar baity, because it was just so this is the saddest story you've ever heard. This man lost his son to leukemia, and now he lost his wife, and now he's coaching a basketball team, and it's it was a little almost too much, but I think did that well. It towed the line all right.
So I liked last episode 4, which is The Invisible Man. The woman had a mental breakdown and her family literally threw her to the curb. Episode 5, we have a depiction of a man having a nearly identical mental breakdown, and his family surrounds him and says, "We're gonna get you help." The correct fucking response to someone having a mental breakdown was she goes, "You're gonna kill yourself. I'm gonna get you help. I love you. I'm gonna put my brother into therapy." He goes into therapy. He goes into what's it called? obviously. It's
Counseling.
No, it's when you go away and substance abuse and you're addicted to stuff, and I can't believe I can't think of this fucking word right now. Anyways, so basically they send him away to rehab. Thank you. I don't know why I could not think of rehab for some unknown reason. Clearly I've never been. Might need to, but clearly I've never been. So really shouldn't joke about that. So they send him to rehab, and he realizes he starts going through therapy. He reconciles slightly with his wife. Things start to get better for him, and like you said, the movie wasn't about basketball. Mm-hmm. Basketball was his catalyst that he found something he loves again, that he can say, it's literally his way back to being a normal person again.
Yeah, I didn't even think of the actual tie into the title.
Yeah, it's the way back to him being like, I'm okay. You'll never be okay after your child dies, but it's his way of being like, I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And so, like, I really like that it showed that. Rather than there's so many times in a movie you don't see, like, they're just like, man, you can do it and get better. And it's like, nah, bro, this is a chore. You are literally, you're not allowed to be around people. You're in rehab, and this is going to take a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I really think they depicted that side of, like, a mental health aspect, like, really well.
Yeah, I really liked, like, at one point in the movie, it was really cool that he had all this love, you know, sort of like in his heart for his son that wasn't there anymore, and sort of like basketball and the team more so than the actual game was just a way for him to sort of like find a place to put that again, which I think is really cool. That
to kind of be a father figure.
Yeah.
For some of these kids that don't really have
a
great father figure.
Yeah.
All right, so Ryan, what did you dislike?
I think I already stated it. It was a sports movie, and I was definitely not prepared for that. Or like, I don't know if it's drama or
yeah, you can do that.
Okay. I don't know. This is just definitely not my cup of tea.
Your vein of movie.
Yeah, but I do have one critique, which I guess it doesn't matter, and I think Brad was probably gonna pick up on.
Gonna get stolen again.
Gonna get stolen. When you're that severe of an alcoholic and you stop cold turkey, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yep. That was mine.
So.
Well, not just that, but as an alcoholic, it gets to a point where you can't drink as much, and he pounds a case of beer.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, you get drunk faster. At a certain point in the disease, you get like 3 beers, you're wasted because your body just cannot process the alcohol anymore. So your liver stops like processing it through, and you're just fucking drunk.
Can we give it up for Doc?
Oh, right? Right?
Yeah.
The best dude. And did you hear him at the end when he's like, I did this for your father?
Yeah, that was so sad.
I was like,
oh, fuck.
Oh.
So, I mean, they depicted alcoholism fucking to how brutal it is to the people around you.
Yeah.
Not like just yourself.
Yeah, honestly, it was mostly a movie about alcoholism, to be honest, because it was basically like, it was about like pain and alcoholism.
Yeah.
So it was like, he lost his son, and then he subsequently lost his wife and his family, and then he turned to alcohol, and it was like just that like sweet recovery from that. Yeah. So I mean, that was gonna be my complaint, was just that like he literally, I was thinking about it. I was like, I wonder if he's just gonna drink less, or if he's gonna have like terrible like DTs or something, and he just literally quit cold turkey. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna go to the bar tonight, and that was it.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, dude.
So my dislike is something that's related to the alcohol, but nothing to do with that. My thing is, dude was fucking jacked, and you never once saw him hit a gym. His job was not that labor intensive, it looked like, and drinking that much beer will make you incredibly fat. And he was in Batman shape, and the whole time I'm thinking like, I wonder if they're filming another Batman movie at the same time, because he is fucking jacked. Like, not a little bit jacked.
Oh,
like Ben Affleck decided that it's kind of like Chris Pratt, where we had Fat Pratt from
Parks
and Rec, and as soon as he got fit, he's like, I ain't going back to fat.
Yeah, this is
and
great.
like Ben Affleck's the same way. He's like got ripped for Batman. He's like, this is me now. I'm a massive man. I don't fit through doors. Like, I just could not believe the size of this. He dwarfed everyone in that movie, and I'm like, God damn, man.
Yeah.
Like, you could have chubbed up a little bit for the movie.
Yeah.
But he was like old man strength. You could see the fucking abs through his shirt. And I'm like, bro, no man that pounds a case of beer a night ever looks like that.
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to take off his shirt so we could see his terrible Phoenix tattoo. Have you seen Ben Affleck's tattoo?
No.
He has this awful full-color Phoenix across his entire back.
God.
It's amazing.
Why?
I don't know. He got interviewed once, and he was like, "Yeah, it's for a role. It's prosthetic, or whatever. It's like painted on." They're like, "Okay," and then it was there a couple years later, and they're like, "Ben, that's real," and he's like, "Yeah, whatever."
I wonder if he got it because he's a huge comic book fan. I wonder if he got it because like he wasn't really doing much for a minute, and then like he started acting again, and he was in that one movie about the getting the people out of the kidnapped people, the people that were hiding.
Oh.
I can't think about it. It's
Whatever.
in Iran.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
where
know
they
the
had
one.
to sneak about on the plane.
Oh. Did it start
yeah.
with an A?
Yes.
I don't fucking know.
I don't. Whatever.
But that's when his career kind of changed trajectory, and then he was in Batman vs Superman, and people wanted to shoot him in the face because they hated it. Not the Batman part, the Superman part.
All right, Ryan.
So-
What did you rate this movie out of 10?
It was a good
sports
movie.
films.
It was a good movie.
Do you not like the Mighty Ducks?
Dude, I
Are we
hate
about to
sports,
get in
but-
an actual fist fight right now? Because the Mighty Ducks is a piece of cinema history.
All right. I honestly, it was a good movie. Not my kind of movie. So I'd probably give it like a 7.
7. Okay, that's solid. I am going to give it. I think just because of its depiction of mental health, I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 8 codes of contact out of 10.
Oh yeah, I didn't give it a thing. I want to give it 8 basketballs.
I'm giving it
Fuck.
8 codes of conduct.
Codes of conduct that you're gonna break.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So-
So I would give it 7 cases of beer out of 10.
All right.
7 cases of beer that makes your abs huge.
Exactly. It's low calorie.
Yeah, it's got to be like negative calories.
All
Dude
right.
was jacked.
Rotten Tomatoes.
All right, so I'm gonna guess Rotten Tomatoes gives this an 82.
Mhm.
Ryan.
76.
Well,
Yeah.
I looked
You
already,
cheated.
but I would have given it what I gave it, which was an 8, right? Yeah,
An
it's
8?
yeah, it was 80.
Oh.
8 out of 10. So it was actually an 88 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Woo, boys, it's me. I'm in the money.
Right. And a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb, so user rating.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty
Nice.
pretty good. We were pretty close.
Well.
It was an R-rated movie, of course, which we know
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of fucks that were in that
Yeah,
movie.
a lot of fucks.
In front of teenagers.
Yeah. So
Well, if you like the episode, like us on Facebook,
Twitter,
Instagram. We release posters of the movie where we put ourselves in the posters. So if you want to see that, because they're pretty terrible and awesome at the same time, go like us on our social media. All right,
All right.
let's get out.